So today we're going to start our notes on polynomials, and we've actually begun this lesson previously. We just called it combining like terms. We're just going to be a little more specific in our language now because polynomials have a very more specific definition. Okay. So what we're going to look at today is with a polynomial. Here we have 3x plus 2 and x minus 5. These are polynomials because they have an x, they have a number. Okay, 2 by itself would be considered a monomial. These are actually binomials because there's two terms. And we'll get into some more specific definitions on some other things. So you'll notice it says here, go to bigideasmath.com for an interactive tool to investigate this exploration. So if you wanted to go there on your iPad and just check out, you could actually move these things around and kind of get a feel for them. Okay, so these pictures represent algebra tiles. And basically an algebra tile is just some little pieces that they came up with to help you manipulate equations and kind of get a hands-on approach to mathematics. So each of these little guys here, these long rectangles, stand for x, or the unknown variable. Right? The small squares count as 1 unit, right? And these are positives. You can also have negatives. So this one's also an x, and these would be considered to be negative 1. Okay. So the way they were able to write this, the plus sign separates, so they kind of put parentheses here and here, right? And then everything inside there is represented by 3x plus 2. So you can see 1, 2, 3 x's, 2 1's. Okay. Then they put the plus sign down, and now x, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negative 1's, or simply minus 5. Okay. Now, here they've rearranged them. What they've done is they have brought together all of each type of thing. So you can see all of our x's are now together, our 1's, our negative 1's. Okay, so they basically rewrote this as 4x plus 2 minus 5. Okay. All right, now here they're showing you that these things together, a positive and a negative and a positive and a negative 1 together, make 0. Okay, so now what we're saying is 4x plus 0, right, minus 3. And then here, we're just to have 4x minus 3. Okay, so you can kind of see, using the tiles, grouping and pulling off your 0 pairs, right, what's left behind. So how did that work mathematically? Okay, well, the parentheses, because we're having addition, the parentheses, we'd say 3x plus 2, and then plus x plus minus 5. And with the double sign, we could just say minus 5 there. Okay. Then we would regroup 3x plus the x plus 2 minus 5. And then these combined would be 4x, and these combined would be minus 3. Okay, so this is the more abstract, and then here we have a modeling. All right, let's take a look at another model. Okay, so we've started off. This is now a long as the x's, but it's wider. In fact, it is x length by x length, so we call this x squared. These are each x, still 1. This is an x, and this is a negative 1. And you can see they've written that in symbols, x squared plus 2x plus 2 minus x minus 1. Okay. So now they've gotten, from here to here, they got rid of the minus sign and made it a plus sign. And you'll notice that everything after that now has a different sign, right? It's still an x, but it's minus x, or negative x. And negative 1 became positive 1. Okay. So over here we would write, we have x squared plus 2x plus 2 plus negative x plus 1. And now they've regrouped, so we have x squared plus 2x minus x plus 3. And then here they've put in a 0, so we have x squared plus x plus 0 plus 3. And then finally we just simply have x squared plus x plus 3. Okay, so that's looking at it from a modeled standpoint. What we can look at from an algebraic or arithmetic standpoint is this is like having minus 1, and we know to get rid of a negative in front of we can distribute it. So this would be x squared plus 2x plus 2 minus x plus 1. Okay. And then we look for our like terms, and we combine them, so we'd have x squared plus x plus 3. Okay. So we come up with the same answer, it's just a slightly different way of looking at it. Okay, so how can you add and subtract polynomials? So this is where we want to put into words what we're doing. So what I saw us do is the first thing was we remove parentheses. Okay, by distributing positive 1 or negative 1. And once we remove the parentheses, we gathered our like terms. And then we combined our like terms. And that was pretty much it. Okay. All right, so if we apply that here, we're going to remove our parentheses by distributing 1 or negative 1. Understood 1 here, understood 1 here, so this becomes x squared plus 2x minus 1 plus 2x squared minus 2x plus 1. We gather our like terms, so we have x squared plus 2x squared plus 2x minus 2x minus 1 plus 1. And then we combine our like terms, and we get 3x squared. That will be 0, and then that will also be 0. So we don't write those down. It's just 3x squared. Okay. Try it again. 4x plus 3, understood 1 out front, plus 1. So that becomes 4x plus 3 plus x minus 2. Gather our like terms. Combine them. And that's our answer. Okay, this time I have a positive 1, and then I have a minus 1. So I distribute x squared plus 2 minus 3x squared minus 2x minus 5. So rewrite with my like terms together. So x squared minus 3x squared minus 2x plus 2 minus 5. This would be 1 minus 3, so negative 2x squared minus 2x, and then 2 minus 5 is minus 3. Alright, so there's a positive 1, there's a negative 1, so we have 2x minus 3x minus x squared plus 2x minus 4, which would be negative x squared plus 2x minus 3x plus 2x minus 4, which would be negative x squared. See, 2 minus 3 is negative 1, plus 2 is positive 1. So 1x, or simply x, minus 4. So now it's time for you to get busy on Polynomials 1 worksheet.